Welcome, everybody, back to another episode with yours truly, Brandon and Xavier. We are the host and co host of the Thread of Exchange podcast, where you come in every week to listen and learn from us as we provide you with some guidance on how to navigate your transition from the psychological aspect. So, a lot of things that we've been talking about and that we'll continue to talk about is from the transmasculine perspective, how we can give you some of that real world guidance on how to make things easier for you throughout your transition. So today we are back with another highly anticipated topic. How do you prepare for transitioning financially? So we're going to give you 3 tips today that you can take away on how we navigated our own transitional journey through the perspective of finances. So 3 of the things we're going to talk about today, what are some expected or unexpected financial costs? We're also going to go into some of the good things like STP, Packers, different underwear, things like that you're going to have to encounter costs for. We're also going to talk about some exterior alterations. So a lot of guys that participate in surgeries and things like that. And then we're also going to wrap it up with legal name change and documentation fees and what that costs. As a disclaimer, things are going to vary state by state. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're listening. You always can fact check with your own state to see what your current prices are because things do change. As we know, we are living in a very inflated society. So prices are always changing and going up. So let's go ahead and kick it off. I'll let Xavier lead us today.
All right, perfect. So the number one thing that when you are medically choosing to medically transition, the biggest thing that we all take is going to be testosterone. Prescription costs for testosterone, needles, alcohol wipes, bandages. A lot of people assume that they're going through the pharmacy and so that their insurance is going to automatically cover the expenses of all these things. But there are alternatives and different ways in which you can, get them at a bulk for a cheaper price. The first thing when I mentioned testosterone, so there are different types of testosterone that you can take. I take testosterone cypionate. GoodRx is one good channel that you can use for that if you're not going to go directly through insurance. Depends on where you get it from, whether it's Walgreens, CVS, Walmart. That price may vary by location and how much in the quantity and the quality that you need. There's also testosterone ethanoate, which is Loxid, which Brandon, he's a little bit more familiar with that one than I am. And the last is going to be the testosterone transdermal, the androgel. Is that right?
Yeah, it's androgel, and it's also called Zyosted. So the Zyosted, which is the ethanoate, that is a sub-Q injection that you put in your stomach that you can get if you have like needle phobia like me. I'll tell you, it was like horrific. I mean, funny story. I think I used to still sit on my mama's lap when I was like 18, bro. I literally would sit on her lap and she would have to squeeze my stomach and I would have to turn my head because I hated needles. And I was like, at 18, like, bro, at this old age, get up and go and get your blood drawn. Thank God for the butterfly needles. So I was able to get over that. But that was like one of the things during my transition was like, how the hell am I going to give myself these injections? Because it was horrible watching that go through my leg, through my thigh, not knowing if I'm hitting a nerve vein. It's just nerve wracking every single time. Which is why I shot over to the testosterone ethanoate, which is the Zyosted. It comes in, it's already pre-packaged, it's already pre-measured out, and whatever your dose of testosterone is, and you just sub-Q into your stomach. I did try that to help get over my needle phobia, and it did work, but my body just took Cypionate just better. My ethanoate actually caused my levels to skyrocket. So I needed to kind of get more leveled out and a little bit lower. So I just switched back to Cypionate, but Xavier really helped me out with getting over that needle phobia. And this is why it's so important to network and build relationships and to share different techniques, because you never know how you can really make somebody else's life easier. Even though to you, it may not be nothing, but to, somebody else, it may be the world. And so, he has a device that he uses,
Yeah.
and it makes it night and day. And we'll have some links available soon with a lot of things that we use in our transitional journey to help make things easier for us that we'll be able to share with you guys. But we're not going to tell what it is today, but just keep a lookout on some of those things that we got coming that you can shop from us to help you out. And then the testosterone transdermal, which is the androgel, I actually tried that too. So I've tried all three: Cypionate, Inthanate, and then also transdermal androgel. Androgel is very expensive. It's like $700 for a 90-day supply. But that was the way I had to start off because my needle phobia was just extreme, and that actually dropped my levels within a month when I first started. And it's just, you just rub it here on your shoulders. It does give you like some acne and things like that on your shoulder. I ended up just trying to face my fears with the needles and ended up switching over to Cypionate, which is so much less expensive.
Yes.
And you're talking from $700 to $50. Like right now, I go to GoodRx, get a 10 ml bottle for $40, $50, from Walgreens, and then that's it. So, again, needles, alcohol wipes, bandages, and then for needles, we'll have some links available on some secret places in which we get our stuff for very cheap. So, and then the STP packers and underwear. That's a whole nother world. It's a whole nother world on what you can do to make yourself pass more or feel more comfortable with, when you first start, it's just like, oh, I need the bulge. I got to get a packer. What does that look like? And then as you go through your transition, that's different. You may not care to pack or pack as heavy as you used to because you become more comfortable and confident in who you are. So you may not care if somebody noticed that you have a bulge or not, but you can get packers from an extreme range of prices all the way down to some very affordable ones, like $15, 20, $30, which we all start. And then we get more knowledge and research, and then we upgrade, and then we go to different sites like GenderCat, where we're getting prosthetics that can cost us north of $400. So I've had them all over through all spectrums. I know Xavier has too. The only thing I haven't personally had was a S to P, not to brag, but I just already knew how to stand up and pee. I've been standing up and peeing before I even transitioned. It was just a gift. It was a gift. Like, this life was for me. So I literally could do that, and I used to always do that. So I never use one for that matter, because I can stand up and pee. And hope you guys got some headphones on if you got kids and stuff around. Maybe we may put a disclaimer before we drop this video.
But for those who are not as talented as my brother here, there are some affordable STPs as well. I know for me, I have done quite a bit of extensive research. There are links for Etsy where you can get something that's not hyper realistic, but it does the job. Something called like a P style, which usually people use whenever they go camping. So they do have P styles. You can go to, of course, the one that everyone knows is Real Magic to get that one-on-one experience where you customizing skin, hair, textures, like colors. You can get very, very specific with that. And then there's also another place called that a friend of mine actually recommended. It's called ftm.shop. Where you get sort of that same experience that you will with something like Real Magic, but it's not as expensive. So you'll be looking to spend from anywhere from, when I say the P style, which is non-realistic at all, so something like $12, $13, not including shipment for that, and then anything up to $800, $1,000 for more customizable STPs. And STPs, for those who are not familiar, is stand to pee. So stand to pee is what helps you, whenever you are inside of, like, if you want to use a urinal or if you just want to go into a stall and stand up instead of squat. And then also the Packers is, as my brother said earlier, it gives you more of a bulge. So that way you're a lot more confident when you're wearing those underwear. Now, underwear is another beast in itself. As
Yeah.
my brother said, there is one company out there that is pretty mainstream with our community. Within our community, it's called Rodeo. They do give you like single underwear. Then you can get a bundle where you can get an STP with a packer. They have multi packs that they give. Now, depending upon your body type, it may or may not work for you. I know for being a black transgender man and how our anatomy is made and how our bodies are built, it may not be the most comfortable for you,
It don't work. It don't work.
or it may or may not work for you, but it all depends upon your body type. They do have underwear for STP and packing as well. Their cost can be anywhere from $20 for one pair of underwear up to I think like $80, $90 for multi pack. So
Yeah.
don't get too excited. Don't jump into it head first. As someone who did that, do not jump into it head first. Give things a try before you invest a lot of money into these products.
I definitely agree with that. Because you don't know what's gonna work for you. You know, it's not like you can return it. You
Mm-mm.
once you get some underwear, you get some underwear, and it is different for different people, different ethnicities, you know, because of the body shapes and things like that. So, for me, I live life on the edge, and so I got me just some regular. I'm just gonna grab me some Fruit of the Looms. You know, if I'm in the mood, I'll grab me some Tommy or Calvin Klein underwear, and I use my front pocket. I use my front pocket, and I put my packer inside my front pocket. I'm on edge all day, but I cannot wear I can't wear those underwear. It's doing too much for me, and it's not
Get
it
that.
doesn't work with the way that, you know, my V shape is, it just don't work. It don't, and I don't like the look of like high rise anything, you know, it just don't work for me, you know. So I just have to do what I can, you know, maybe we have to invent something,
But
put a zipper on the side or something and tuck it in.
don't
But,
give them too much. Don't give them too much. But
you
you can always
know, but
you know.
yeah. And I mean, it, I haven't, it hasn't failed me, you know, like, especially when I'm wearing suits and I'm going to different meetings, like I have to have that. I'm not, you know, I don't care if it's just like some street clothes or something like that, but for suits, I have to have it. So, and the third thing that we want to talk about is the legal name change and documentation fees. You know, everybody's municipality, city, and state is different. Everybody has different fees. Everybody has different processes, things like that. We are going to link you with a guide on where you can find some of this information at, so you can look at it definitively on your own. But just to kind of paraphrase and give you an idea on financial costs on things that's associated with getting your gender marking and legal name change. You know, you're talking about court filing fees, you're talking about official records for name change. That can be an estimate around $200 depending on state. I know for me, that's what it was. Fees payable to your Secretary of State, you know, for your license, get your gender marker change. You have to go to the Social Security office. That's free when you go to the Social Security office to get your name change associated with your Social Security number. There's also a fee if you want to change your birth certificate. If you want to, you know, update the marker on there, there's also a fee for that. I know it's $50 in my state. And then also fees for passport change, which was very exciting for me when I got my passport changed. But there's a fee for that, and I think I paid like $165 for that to get my name changed, and then also gender marker changed on that. So to kind of condense it for you and put it into something very actionable, you know, what does an overall budget look like so you can be prepared to have what you need? So your necessities that you need obviously is your medication, whatever form of testosterone you're going to use. So we'll use the cheapest form for illustration purposes, which would be testosterone cypionate, $50, $60 for a 10 ml liter, depending on what your frequency is and how much you're using. That should last you anywhere from 4 to 5 months. So you're talking about needles and bandages. You're talking about like maybe another $20 or $30. So we had $70 for just for your medication purposes. If you want to add in a packer, a small packer with that, with underwear, you know, you're looking at like another $50. So we're looking at, you know, expounding upon the budget there. So you got about $130 there. So then when we add in the fees for, court costs and, birth certificate costs if you're doing that, passport costs if you're doing that. So all in all, to really kind of give you a starter pack, a starter price, you're gonna be budgeting about $500 to $700 in order for you to be able to accomplish all of this. So name change, court filing fees, passport fees, medication, packer. You're looking at about $500 to $700 budget that can really get you started, just for those things. Xavier is going to walk you guys down through the idea of the exterior, things that you can do, changes that you can make, which that can get very pricey. This is the priciest part of your transition, which is, altering your physical appearance.
Yeah. And when it comes to exterior alterations, remember, this is not something that you have to do. I know for some people dealing with body dysphoria or gender dysphoria, it can become so heavy where it's like, if I have to do this thing, or mentally I'm just not going to be in a good space. And remember, everybody's journey is different. Just because that's your journey and your story doesn't mean that it's for everybody, but I mean that is everyone's. But with insurance and without insurance is pretty significant when it comes to the cost for some of these things. So some of the surgeries that guys usually or typically look into, you're thinking about top surgery, which is of course bilateral mastectomy, removing of breast tissue, hysterectomy, which is removing of the female anatomy or reproductive system. Let me say that, and then bottom surgery, of course. Whereas you're completely changing your actual physical anatomy externally. And then the last thing would be voice masculinization. So there are some guys who still struggle with their voices not dropping. And so this may also be an option for them as well. So when it comes to top surgery, with or without insurance, so with insurance, you may be looking at hitting your deductible for the year when it comes to outpatient procedures. That can be anywhere from, it really just depends on the insurance that you have. I know for the insurance that I have, it's about $1,200. So once you hit that deductible, everything else is covered by the insurance. But without insurance, you could be looking at anything from like $5,000 to $10,000, but that all depends upon the doctor that you choose, as well as the type of procedure that you choose as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to the hysterectomy with insurance, you could be looking at, once again, hitting that deductible, but depending upon your insurance, it could be anywhere from like $5,000 to like another $10,000 once again for that, or without insurance, $10,000 to like $22,000. And then when it comes to bottom surgery, of course, it's going to be on the higher end because it's also higher risk as well. Longer hospital stays, things like that. You're looking at like $80,000 to like $200,000, depending upon how far you go into the surgery, meaning that there are 3 different procedures for phalloplasty, or if you go to metoidioplasty or any other bottom surgery that you're looking at between that route. And the last thing for voice maximization, I'm not familiar with insurance covering this in the United States, but you could be looking at about $8,000 for something like that.
And I know this year was the first year that I found out that voice masculinization is covered for insurance. There's just a certain amount that they're not going to pay past. You get a benefit, a lifetime benefit through your employer, and that's it, that you can utilize for that. And then also voice feminization, either way, whoever. So this year was the first year I found out about it, that companies were covering it. So shout out to those companies for being inclusive and diversifying benefit options, for your employees. I know earlier we said that we were going to give you 3 actionable steps. I'm actually going to give you 5 today. So just add on just another one too. I think this is one of the most important ones. I think one of the most fun ones, one of the most expressive ones of you being able to really show up as who you are in the world. And that is, creating a budget for your wardrobe. when I tell you this is an endless space to be in because you're going to constantly be evolving as the man that you are. You're going to go through seasons of different styles, seasons of different colognes, like colognes that I smelled on myself 3, 4 years ago. They smell entirely different on me now. And I was 3 years in my transitional journey versus 5, 6 years, and those colognes smell very different. So it's always an ever changing thing. And medically, if you're medically transitioning, your doctors pretty much give you that benchmark of 7 to 8 years for completion, where whatever you're going to get in your transitional journey at year 7 to 8, it's safe to say that that's who you're just going to grow into. Your changes will be done. Your body maxes out at that puberty stage within 7 to 8 years. So if you're still on year 2, year 3, just know you have so much more to go, and your body is going to continue to change. Your style of dress is going to continue to change. I know for me, I've always was masculine, but it's a different level of masculinity with my wardrobe, with the smells that I wear, the way that I want to show up. My style of dress has changed, and it really just kind of seeps out and exudes. Like, here I am, the man that I always wanted to be. And your wardrobe and things like that will just start changing. I mean, different colognes you like, body washes. I've never had like a grooming routine. I have a grooming routine now with moisturizing. Like, Xavier's like, bro, you don't use lotion? I'm nah. Why do I don't I'm not I don't get ashy. I don't need lotion. I mean, he's like, bro, you still want to get moisturized. I mean, just things like, I mean, my hands were never hard or crusty or anything like that, but it's just getting in the habit of moisturizing and taking care of yourself, because you're gonna be 60 one day.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be 70.
And testosterone ages you, man. I think that's one thing they don't tell you. Now, I know we mentioned like collagen and like some things that we've talked about like off screen and everything, but
Yeah.
there are some things that testosterone does to your body that you don't understand why cisgender men don't do it, bro. Like, you don't lotion your feet, you don't take
Right.
collagen, you're not doing things to help regulate your skin, keep you looking young, keep you looking
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's important. That's important. And so you're not just doing it. One of the things that I learned in my transition is what I'm doing today is not for Brandon in 2023. What I'm doing today is for Brandon in 2063. That's how you want to approach your transition. At least that's how I approach mine. Because my hand's not dry, white, flaky, anything like that now. But if I'm not moisturizing, if I don't have a good bedtime routine, hygiene routine, grooming routine, and I don't have that in 40 years, it's going to show up and it's going to look like I didn't put lotion on. I didn't use moisturizer. So it's more so about, prior to me transitioning, I mean, just everything flawless, like don't need no lotion, don't need, feet soft, hands soft, whatever. I ain't got to worry about cutting my wife in the bed, and never got to worry about that. But now, I mean, I sleep with socks on. Anyway, I don't know about y'all. I love sleeping in socks. This man don't like sleeping in socks. My wife don't like sleeping in socks. A lot of people I know do not sleep in socks. I sleep in socks all day. My feet are covered all day. It's probably why my feet are soft, because they covered all day.
it's off too though. Don't try to
Are
don't
they soft?
yes, don't do that.
Okay. So, but just grooming yourself, because everything that you're doing is for your higher self. It's for your older self. So, my advice is set a couple $100 aside for like, different body care regimens, like beard oil. I have various different beard oils that I use, moisturizers for my face, beard conditioner, things like that, different picks to use, different combs. You'll start to get into that. What body wash smells good on you? What does not? What doesn't go with your body chemistry? Obviously, hormones are changing, but set aside a couple $100 just for grooming. And then obviously, as your style begins to change, you may want to dress a little bit more what they call it trendy casual. You might want to do that more instead of just, streetwear, or you might want to go straight to, custom suits, which I'm a fan of that. I love most of my things are tailored. All of my suits are tailored, but I got into that really, because I knew I always was a man. So that's why I got into it early on. But when I started transitioning, it was a different level. I had a different eye on what I was looking for and what I wanted to see. So, try your best to set aside funds specifically for that experience, the grooming experience of being a man, taking care of yourself, smelling good, smelling fresh, things like that. And I know Xavier, you actually inspired me for the moisturizing on my hands and feet and things like that. But like, what are some of the things that you do for your grooming experience and just to take care of yourself as a man?
I know I know some people gonna be like, don't do it, or I love this minoxidil. I know
Yeah.
I'm only 2 years within my journey, but I have used minoxidil, especially earlier on, derma rolling, beard growth oils or
Hmm.
just hair growth oils. And then because I am in the military and maybe it's a minoxidil or something helping, or maybe it's because I'm further along my journey, but I started to get facial hair on the side here, like my beard started to come in and I had to shave for the very first time and figuring out like what shavers work the absolute best. Now, I didn't, I kind of knew, had a little bit of an idea, but as a black man, using straight razors to shave, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's why I actually, I started getting bumps and yeah, even using ice afterwards still, but just educating yourself on your skin type, your hair, how
Yeah.
your hair grows and shaving. But I know you don't shave, but
No, I don't. Yeah, but that is important. I think I probably got a fear of my skin bumping up like that,
mm,
which is, I am because I want to grow my beard a certain way. Like I don't really get it crispy like that because I want it to grow. So I'm in my growing phase right now with my facial hair from my cheeks. But derma rolling is a fantastic way, which I've been starting to do to kind of fill in some, weak spots, weak areas, or what have you. That's good. Outside of like the derma rolling, like he uses minoxidil. I've tried that. I've had like some beard cream growth that my doctor prescribed to me. And again, you don't really know what's working and what's not. It could just be your natural progression of your transition with you getting older. You get more testosterone in your body, or it could be a matter of these products. Like I'm 50-50 on it. I don't know what it is, but I just know I got to take care of what I have. I have to keep my beard moisturized and oiled and things like that. So you really start to take pride in how you show up as a man, grooming wise. And you know just to tell you, like, women notice that,
yeah,
especially if you are transitioning with somebody. I transitioned with my wife, as did Xavier, and the smells or the way however I was prior, she gonna be the first. I'm not gonna probably really notice it like that. I might here and there, but I'm always checking in with my wife, like, hey, do I stink? Like, I mean, do I smell different now? Like, does my hair feel rough when it's brushing up against your thighs? Like, like you have to ask those type of questions because I don't know. She ain't used to me having a full beard. So how does that make you feel? Like, is it not soft enough? Like, so I'm constantly have to make sure my beard is soft, like my grooming is on point. We all know what happens when we sweat now, we smell different. You go to the gym. I mean, shirts is wet at the gym, or you might get night sweat still right now if you're in that phase. But just body care, defining your style, and you may still, people have struggles with trying to find their style once they transition because clothes just don't fit on you the same way that they do. I mean, they're going to fit better up here in your shoulders, but then your pants may be sagging differently than how they used to sag, the way that you like, so you just give yourself some grace with that because it's going to change, but still love on yourself during that.
that's facts.
Yeah. We hope that these 5 actionable steps today that we gave you can help you to try to prepare for your transitional journey. Number one, obviously, you got some unexpected and expected costs with prescriptions, your testosterone, your needles, your bandages, your alcohol, your STPs, your underwear, your packers, things like that. your exterior changes that you want to make. There's tremendous cost with that. Your legal documents and fees, there's cost with that. And then obviously just your hair care, beard care routine, your new budget for clothes, all of that, just do your best that you can to prepare for your transitional journey financially and when it comes to those areas.
Yeah, and I would say understand that you don't have to completely be 100% ready, financially ready. At least like find one of these steps that's the most important to you, which if it's your name change first or any type of documentation first, of course, saving money for that. There are ways through the government where, if you are on Medicare, Medicaid, they do have certain exemptions and things like that. So just also make sure you do your due diligence and research so that way you are able to that you are able to be smart when it comes to it as well. And as things continue to move forward, just like slowly but surely knock out, your list of things that you want to get accomplished for yourself throughout your transitional journey. And, don't allow finances to be the end all be all. There's always ways to get to the space that you want to get to and always resources available for you as well.
I think that's a great point that you added, Xavier, is pick what's most important to you and then make goals, deadlines to try to help, get yourself there. But whatever is important to you, like knock that out. Is this going to make you feel more like who you are? If that's changing your name, changing your gender marker, go for it, do it. If it's just getting a Packer right now that makes you feel 20 times better, great. I think that's a really great point that you pointed out, because it can get overwhelming and demanding, especially if you don't feel like, you can take all of this on right now. But again, like we said earlier, that $500 to $700, like try to earmark that as a goal, and you really can knock out, 3 of these 5 just like that, just with a small amount of money, there. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Not turning in. Where are we going? We ain't turning nowhere. Thanks for your time today. As always, like, share, subscribe, share this episode with somebody who you feel could be, who it could benefit tremendously. Follow us on all social media outlets at The Thread of Exchange. And we will catch you on the next episode.